Hello, it's me, David, again, here to talk about more books of the Bible. Today we're going to talk about Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, and Job. Ezra and Nehemiah and Esther, all three talk about what happened to Israel while they were in captivity in Babylon, also known as exile. The book of Ezra was written by, of course, Ezra. At the beginning of the book of Ezra, the Jews were already captives in Babylon. The king of Persia, which his name was Cyrus, said that they could return to Jerusalem to rebuild their temple. Ezra was very sad because they didn't have a place to worship God. So he went to King Cyrus, and Cyrus approved him to go. The first group of God's people that went home were 42,360, and they went home with the king's blessing to begin rebuilding the temple. Ezra was also allowed to go back to Babylon with a second group of 2,000 people to teach God's word, because there was no one there to teach God's word. The king of Persia allowed a third group to go home to rebuild the wall around Jerusalem to protect the city. The wall was built in only 52 days. The enemies knew that God must have helped them. The wall was built so quickly because all of the people banded together and worked together to build the wall. Everyone had a part, and they all worked hard to build it, and God gave them the ability to do it. After this, the people worshiped God and asked Him to forgive their sins. They promised to obey God, gave to God, and not marry people who worshipped idols. Esther is a story of the Jews who did not go home but stayed in Babylon. The story of Esther talks about the king of Persia who wanted to pick a new queen. He picked Esther to be his queen, and she was a young Israelite girl. But her uncle Mordecai, who worked in the palace, told her not to tell anyone that she was a Jew. He was scared that something might happen to her. Well, there was a bad man named Haman who plotted to kill all the Jews because he hated Mordecai, because Mordecai would not bow down to him when he walked through the city, because Mordecai did not bow down to anybody other than God. Esther risked her life to save the Jews by exposing Haman's plot to kill the Jews. She told the king that she was a Jew and that Haman was trying to kill them all. And the king was very mad at Haman and ended up killing Haman instead of the Jews. So Esther is known for her faith. No one knows who wrote the books of Esther and Job. Job is a book that talks about a man being tested by Satan. Satan tested Job's love for God by causing destruction on all of Job's family and belongings. Job's friends came and told him that his problems happened because he was sinning, but God said they were wrong. Through all of the suffering, Job never cursed God and never stopped worshiping Him. God rewarded Job by giving him a new family and twice the riches he had before.